Okay, so imagine yourself in a garden filled with tulips, roses, dandelions, and orchids. And you feel the fresh air blowing, the sun shining, and you're with the one person you've committed yourself to. As you guys walk and enjoy the day, the person you call the love of your life tells you to close your eyes and trust him. So you do. You take one step and the person tells you how much they really like you. The second step, how they never met anyone like you. And the third step, how much they love you. And then the fourth step, there's no more ground and it's a free fall, and bam, you're by yourself. No sun, cold air, and you're all alone. Trusting someone with your life can be very deadly, and it can also be dangerous. That is why everyone should protect themselves when they're having sex. Because if not, you can alter your life in a major way. Every time you sleep with someone, you're making yourself vulnerable to different diseases, some treatable and others not. And that's why, after this speech, you should be able to know how common STIs are, why you shouldn't trust every person you sleep with, and the dangers of unprotected sex. According to Deanna Farkash, she's actually the health educator right here on campus. She said STIs are considered sexually transmitted infections, and that's a politically correct word to describe over 20 different infections. And STIs, if you guys all don't know, are mostly common around teenagers and college students. According to the United States Department of Health and Human Services, an estimated 200 to 400 million people are infected with STIs. And 19 million people are affected each year, and 65 million people are have an incurable STI. And according to Leadership University, they did statistics on sex in America. 63% of all STIs occur among people 25 years or younger. And although you may want to trust the person that you're either dating or sleeping with, most of the time you can't trust them. For example, there was a study done by 655 college students, and 34% of men and 10% of women have lied to their partner just to have sex, and 68% of men and 59% of women have been involved with more than one other person the person they're sleeping with doesn't know about. And 47% of men and 42% of women have lied about their previous sex history just to have sex with someone else. So that just shows you can't really trust anyone just to tell you the truth about their past just because they want to have sex with you. And speaking about trust, I read a story about a 17-year-old girl who actually, of course, in high school, you meet someone, you fall in love, and she ended up losing her virginity. And come to find out, the person she lost her virginity to gave her HPV, which is the human papillomavirus, which is also known as genital warts. And she claimed she did see warts in his genital area, but he claimed he didn't give it to her, but she knew otherwise because she didn't have sex with no one else but him. And so they tried to make the relationship work, but 6 months after she found out she had the disease, she found out he was having a baby by someone else. So it was obvious that he was cheating on her and contracted the virus. And now she's a university student, and she just found out she had herpes. And she's had sex with 2 other men, but it's been protected. But she says, and I quote, "I'm going to find it hard starting a new relationship, but it's important to me to let them know what's going on, to be careful who you trust." So just imagine just sleeping with one person you so-called consider you love, and for the rest of your life you have to tell every person you meet or decide to have a relationship with that you have a virus that is not curable. And 9 times out of 10, everyone's going to go the opposite direction. Also, my third I want to talk about is STI infections could cause more health problems For example, the California Medical Association Foundation says that approximately 20 people are infected by HPV, and an unknown fact to all people, all men and women, is that 90% to 100% all cervical cancer cases have detected HPV. So either the person who has cervical cancer either didn't get tested for HPV or just didn't have any knowledge of the fact that they had HPV before they had cervical cancer. And also, when it comes to chlamydia, which is another bacterial infection, it can cause health problems for men and women. For women, the American Social Health Association said that chlamydia can lead to pelvic inflammatory disease, which is PID, and that can cause infertility, and cystitis, which is inflammation of the urinary bladder. And for men, it can cause prostatitis, which is inflammation of the prostate gland, and infertility as well. And in some cases, for mostly men, from ages 20 to 40, chlamydia can lead to Raynaud's syndrome, which is a disorder that causes arthritis, redness in the eyes, and urinary tract problems. So just because you know people don't want to go get checked up and go to the doctor, you think it's going to go away, when the reality is it's not. It's going to just get worse. And so the last thing I do want to talk about is HIV and AIDS virus, because it's spreading rapidly, especially amongst people our age. And for those who don't know, according to Deanna Farkash, who's the health educator on campus, HIV is the virus that causes AIDS, and it destroys the immune system in the body, and it does not allow the body to fight off any common infections. And this, for the Centers of Disease and Control Prevention, in 2006, an estimated 1 million people has lived with HIV, and 21% were left undiagnosed. So that was years ago. So imagine what the numbers are now, because according to Leadership University, every 2 hours, someone between the age of 13 to 25 is infected by HIV. And it's actually the leading killer for Americans ages 25 to 44 years old. And I want to share a story with you guys, because I was watching Oprah like a month ago, and she had a woman on there named Bridget, who was very, she was a corporate, worked in corporate America, and she was very adamant about, sleeping with different men. So she'll probably only slept with like 1 to 2 men in her life. And she met her husband, and who's the Hollywood executive, and after 2.5 years of dating, they ended up getting married. But on their honeymoon, on their way back from the honeymoon, he was really sick, and he had like excruciating pain, headaches, and his blood pressure was like 103. And so a month later, she started feeling the same pains, and she went to the doctor, and the doctor ended up telling her she was HIV positive. But she told her husband, and he was very calm about it, and she assumed she gave the virus to her husband. Well, she was kind of suspicious about him and other men, because one time she felt jealous over a guy friend he had, and come to find out, he gave her HIV, and he was actually on the internet looking for men with HIV who was married. So she ended up divorcing him, and ended up suing him for $12 million and won. So just to let you guys know, it can happen to just anybody. Everyone thinks that they're untouchable, but you can get an STI that's curable or that's not curable, or HIV and AIDS, and that's pretty much deadly. So I just wanted to let you guys know there's different ways you can ensure that you're healthy, and that's abstinence, which you can just 100% effective, no STIs, no pregnancy, and then also condoms, but preferably latex, because lambskins tear easily, and also just frequent checkups with the doctor, and stay in a monogamous relationship, make sure both of you guys are tested, and also don't use too much drugs or alcohol, because sometimes you may forget to protect yourself. And I want to end on a quote from Magic Johnson, who is, of course, has HIV, and he says, "The safest sex is no sex." If you choose not to, then protect yourself and your partner, and make sure you educate yourself. Thank you.
Choosing and breathing.